So here is a list of the ingredients to make a Christmas plum cake. I've taken about 200 grams of apricots, 200 grams of cranberries, 1 kilo of plum, 200 gram of fig, and I have soaked the dried fruits in 1 bottle of rum. I have soaked the dried fruits for about a month in advance. You can even soak it until a year in advance. Those of you who don't take alcohol, you could use orange juice or grape juice for the soaking the fruits. But when you bake the cake, all the rum will be evaporated and you will not feel alcoholic taste in the cake. So you have to store the dried fruits in a cool, dry place and give it a shake whenever possible. So this is after 1 month. I have taken 500 grams of flour, 400 grams of sugar, 1 baking powder 15 grams, 1 vanilla sugar 1 packet, 200 grams of hazelnuts, 200 grams of cashew nuts, 8 eggs, and 500 grams of butter. The other things what you need is the caramelized sugar of about 1 cup. I'll explain how to caramelize the sugar later. I have the measurement as 1 cup for the caramelized sugar. The other vessels what you need handy are a baking a bowl, a sieve, some spoons, measuring spoons, a cake machine if you have. If not, a hand blender would do. Even if you don't have a hand blender, just a wooden spatula should be more than enough. But if you are making a big quantity to beat the butter and sugar, it helps. So now I'm beating the butter for 500 grams. You have to beat the butter and you have to mix it with 10 eggs and 8 eggs and beat it. I did not shoot that video of beating the eggs, sorry about it. Now I'm sieving the flour in a sieve with 15 grams of baking powder. Sieve it well without lumps. Don't forget to add the baking powder to this when you add the flour. When you sieve the flour, and now the dried fruits which has been soaked in rum has been taken. You can see how it has been fluffy. It has gone big after soaking it in the rum. I've used the entire rum too. It has come only to few teaspoons in addition. I'm mixing with 2 to 3 tablespoon of flour to mix the dry fruits so that it is evenly mixed everywhere. Otherwise the dry fruits will settle down at the bottom if you don't mix it with flour. You can also mix it with the cashew nut powder or almonds powder. I've taken 2 to 3 tablespoons of flour for this, and then I'll be adding the nuts, hazelnuts and the cashew nuts. Cashew nuts I shouldn't have blended this much, but some has become powdered. But still it will add only taste to the cake, so it's not a problem. But for the look wise, the chopped nuts would be good. So this is hazelnuts, it's been already chopped. So cashews I've blended with, so as I mentioned, it has become as a powder with cashews. So I'm mixing it well. You have to mix the dry fruits with the rum and the cashew nut and the hazelnuts thoroughly. So it has been mixed well. Now you have to add the dry flour with the baking powder as well as the wet ingredients. But I haven't beaten the butter and the egg mixture with the sugar. So I'm going to beat the butter egg mixture with sugar. I'm adding about 400 grams of sugar. I'm taking a measuring cup, which is about 400 grams exactly, I think. After mixing everything, you could taste, and if you need little extra sugar, you could add it. I did that. So approximately I took about 500 grams of sugar. It's up to your taste. If you want less sweet, you could add 400 grams. If you want a little bit sweeter, if you want a sweeter cake, then add 500 grams of sugar. I think in my list of ingredients, I've given 500 grams of sugar. So to this butter, egg, sugar mixture, oh, I forgot to tell something. We need ground spices. It is about 1 to 2 teaspoons I'm taking. It's a mix of 5 cardamom, 5 clove, 1 nutmeg, and 1 small stick of cinnamon. You can add the garam masala powder to the cake, to the flour at this time. And now you have to mix everything. The wet ingredients, there is a caramelized sugar, and I've taken 1 cup of caramelized sugar, and then I'm mixing it well, mixing the caramelized sugar with the dry fruits and nuts very well. You have to mix it thoroughly, and then you have to add the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients and place it in a baking tray. Meanwhile, you can grease a baking tray, or you can line the baking tray with parchment paper and keep it ready. Now I am mixing the egg, butter, vanilla sugar, and sugar mixture into the dry fruits and nuts mixture. It's better to take a bigger bowl so that when you add the flour, you could mix it well. So next step is to add the flour and the baking powder evenly. Please add it in small quantities and mix it. You have to mix it and fold it. You have to just mix it. And so now the baking tray has been lined with the parchment paper, and I'm adding the mixture into 2 portions because I have 2 baking trays. And meanwhile, preheat the oven into to 180 degrees Celsius or 150 to 160 degrees Celsius. It depends upon your oven. I use 2 ovens. In one oven, I set it up to 160 degrees, which I baked for 1.5 hours. And the other oven I used for about 170 degrees. I baked it for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. So it's up to your oven to bake the cake. As you know that you have to check the cake after an hour by inserting a toothpick. If the toothpick comes clean, then it's understood that the cake is baked well.